Today we're discussing Fournette versus Mack versus Henry. Who comes out on top? Find out.
Welcome to the Fantasy Underdogs podcast with your hosts, Dr. Ike and BJ.
Fantasy Underdogs, we're talking Fournette versus Mack versus Henry. These are guys that you really like, Ike. Get it? I don't. I'm not a big fan of two of these guys. Who do you have? Who do you have as your top guy of these three?
It's tough, man. I have a love-hate relationship with Leonard Fournette. You know, I had him last year, and he was the ultimate disappointment. But when he played, he was unbelievable. He averaged 15 points per game. You know, the lower body injuries really, really worry me going through this season. He's constantly, it seems like he always misses games. He's not reliable, which also worry me for a top-end pick. But the signing of Nick Foles kind of makes me excited. You know, this is Nick Foles coming over from the Eagles with his offensive coordinator, DeFilippo. So they know the offense, so he should be able to adjust pretty well. The offensive line is officially healthy. They made those adjustments last year with Norwell and Cam Robinson, I believe, is healthy now. So their offensive line is healthier. They got a much better quarterback. You know, they signed, I believe, Chris Conley from Kansas City. He's not a great receiver, but it's another addition. And Foles likes to throw the ball deep. So that should open up the lanes for Fournette to be able to run more. And I do believe he's going to be a goal line monster. As, you know, the passes showed us, he gets the ball. He's like Adrian Peterson was in his prime. On the 5, you know he's getting at least 2 to 3 touches. So the touchdowns are going to be there. You just got to hope he stays healthy. And if he stays healthy, you know, he has the potential to fall into that top 5 category, top 5 conversation. But that's the big thing. The injuries have been haunted him.
Are you done?
A little bit.
You're done. You're done. I'm saying you're done because you're wrong. You're completely wrong.
Right, well, let's hear what you got to say.
This is okay. Let's get back to the small little thing you gloss over, the ton of lower body injuries. Even the way you said it, you were like, it's just a little thing. It's a ton of lower body injuries. It's a guy that's never stayed healthy. You're taking this guy to be your number 1 or 2 running back? Like, where would you say you have to take him to get a realistic shot of getting this guy?
I would say he would probably back end of the second round. He'll probably fall because of the, you know, I don't know, honestly. He might fall middle of the second round, but definitely in the second round, I think he's going.
That's where you're getting like Travis Kelce and like still top 8 wide receivers. Why am I going to take this guy? This guy, no. I'm not taking him there. I'm taking him. I put him as like a 4th round guy just because I just don't trust him. Those injuries, Nick Foles being an upgrade, he's only good when he's on a playoff run. They ain't making the playoffs.
We'll see.
They just wasted a bunch of money. No, there's no seeing. It's just done. I'm not a fan. I just respectfully disagree. Maybe this is the year he turns around because you liked him so much last year, but I think you're honestly in an abusive relationship when it comes to Leonard Fournette. This is just, you just see the upside. She keeps disappointing you. You know she's different in your head, and you've seen like the positives, but there's negatives are just too glaring, my friend. You just got to dump Leonard Fournette and move on to someone that you have on your list that I'm more of a fan of personally, and that's Mr. Marlon Mack, who's in the perfect situation, being in that Indianapolis Colts offense with a much better quarterback than Nick Foles, Mr. Andrew Luck, our number 2 rated quarterback on our list. He showed when he was healthy. That's, again, there's the injury concern, same thing with Fournette, but he doesn't have as extensive of an injury history as Leonard Fournette. And I think he's not going to be pounded into the ground like Leonard Fournette was as well when he was healthy. So I think overall, where he's going in the 2nd, 3rd round, he looks more realistic in my eyes. What do you think about Mr. Marlon Mack?
Mack, I mean, he's in the perfect situation to succeed. You know, he's got a great offensive line. They were ranked by Pro Football Focus 4th in rushing and 2nd in pass blocking. So giving Andrew Luck time to throw the ball downfield definitely takes the linebacker and the safety out of the box. So opens up more lanes for Marlon Mack to run. He's got good hands. He does lack a little bit of top end speed, but he makes up for that with his burst through the line, his agility to get past defenders, and he constantly breaking arm tackles. So he's usually a good, yards after carry type of guy, or yards after contact type of guy to get you more yards. So, and touchdowns should be up. Bearing injury or some type of soft tissue injury like he had last year, he should be very, very productive, and I like him a lot. I see him going, again, I think he's going to go somewhere in the second round with that offense. I mean, mean, you want a piece of the good offenses, and that's one mentality that I always have going into every draft. Try to get a piece of the offenses that you think are going to be in the top 5 because those are winning pieces. So that's what I think about Marlon Mack, and yeah, he's very high on my list. The last guy on the list would be Derrick Henry. Tale of two halves, right?
Yeah, you could say that.
I mean, the first half of the year, he was pretty much garbage. I don't get it. They didn't use him correctly. They gave him, he had touches, but they just didn't seem like they were gelling at all. They had all those issues at quarterback and everything. But that second half of the season, he looked like the best running back in the NFL. To be honest, he was bulldozing people, scoring at an unreal clip. Running 20-yard gains like they were like normal runs. So. And he has an enormous offensive line to help that big bull. He's going to be the goal line guy. Mm-hmm. But what are you,
I've
we could cut that part out.
No. We're not staying in. That's staying in because I could tell you're really reaching here. And this is, I feel like you like this guy not to the same degree as you like Leonard Fournette, but I feel like I kind of put him in the same tier of guys that are going to be overdrafted, and you can't rely on them because now the first thing you mentioned is that it was a tale of two halves, correct? Mm-hmm. That dominant stretch was about, I think, 3 or 4 games. Dominant, really dominant. Was it 3 or 4 games? Am I speaking out of turn?
I think it was 4.
4 games. I feel like we're emphasizing a very small size. It was the picture it was better than the picture that we ever imagined for Derrick Henry because we were always just waiting for him to get that full-time job. We were disappointed when they got Dion Lewis, but we were like, you know what? He's good enough. He'll be fine. It just took so long for that to happen. Will this coaching staff, now they have a new offensive coordinator because the offensive coordinator went to Green Bay, am I correct? Different offensive coordinator. It's going to be probably a different type of scheme. You still have the same problems at quarterback. Yes, they added Ryan Tannehill, but what is that adding? Really? So you basically have 2 of the same disappointing quarterbacks.
2 crappy quarterbacks.
So at least they're prepared for when Mariota gets hurt. They got Tannehill to come behind him and disappoint and get hurt. So I just think there's all these players on Tennessee that we think like Corey Davis they're talented, but they're just when you have quarterbacks and offensive schemes that just don't line up, it's just a concoction to give you disappointment. And I think Derrick Henry, if he was somewhere else, maybe he could work out really well, but not this situation this year. I think it's another year you stay away from Derrick Henry.
Yes, I a little bit difference on that. I think Tennessee's not a good team, to be honest, but I think there are going to be a lot of close games. So I think they're going to rely, and they're a run-first team, so they're going to rely heavily, heavily on Derrick Henry. As long as they can keep the games close, I think Derrick Henry's going to be very, very effective. He's probably going to score a bunch of touchdowns because he gets all those carries. Yeah. And like I said, the offensive line is huge. They drafted A.J. Brown to go with Corey Davis. Delaney Walker's back healthy. Maybe all that offensive, those are all positives going in. Plus, Derrick Henry's a beast, man.
He is a beast.
He breaks tackles.
That one stat. I want you. What's the most intriguing stat that I didn't realize until I read it in your notes was the percentage of carries resulting in positive yardage. 88.1%. Just getting that in your head right there. That's pretty amazing. It's not like he went for 0 yards. It's positive yardage. Yeah. That's really good. So that is something in the right direction that I really like seeing that. So he's not going to give you a bunch of dancing around moves and ending up with a negative 5-yard loss. Yeah. He's a no-nonsense kind of guy, which we do love for at least, he's not going to impact you negatively in that aspect.
Yeah, and also another thing, I mean, he had the highest yards per carry on first downs at 5.4 yards.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So they should not pass the ball on first down.
Yeah, so basically they saw that. Also, he had a 41% touchdown rate. He went for 9 for 22 in red zone scores.
That's pretty darn good. And with that is the Fournette versus Mack versus Henry debate. Please like, subscribe, comment. Have a wonderful day.